So we did our intention setting session last night, and for some of you that couldn't join, I said I'd post what we talked about and just share the exercises so that you'll be able to do it on your own. So we started off with just talking about whether resolution was different than an intention. So maybe take a minute or two to think about whether these things mean, whether they mean anything different or the same for you, and what has or hasn't worked for you in the past. And I'll share what some of the thoughts were. So the words that came up with resolution was rigid, harsh, outcome specific or outcome dependent, more challenging to succeed, doesn't feel great, and comes from a place of dislike. With intentions, the words softer, gentler, orientation, a general orientation and direction, a step by step that feels good along the way. So the writing prompt, first one is a free flow exercise where you're just going to take a few minutes to write down the activities that you tend to spend most of your time doing. And maybe not even just most of your time, that you do spend time doing, and take as long as you need really to just write a list of as many things that you can think of. So you can pause this and just write things. Maybe it's work, and even with work, you can break it down into specific things that you do, housework, cooking, cleaning, kids, laundry, whatever, exercise, creative work, health behaviors, whatever it is that you spend time doing, social media, scrolling, just note them all down. And then once you have your list, you're gonna go back and just quick glance at them and see, what do these activities feel like when you think of them? Is it, do they, like, your association with them, is it a positive feeling, a negative feeling, or neutral? And you can take a minute or two here to go back and do that. And the point of this exercise is we're not really going to do much with this other than hopefully just bring a little bit more awareness into, what do we spend most of our time doing and how does it feel for us? And as a practice of living with more intention, then I think the practice of awareness and knowing what we do and how it feels can be really helpful. So maybe in the next week or month, you spend some time just checking in with yourself. You can even set a timer. As the timer goes off, you just say, like, what am I doing? What does it feel like for me? Maybe what does it feel like in my body? And what are the emotions that come up? And what are some thoughts that are going through my head as I'm engaging with this? And not to change anything specifically. I think we're very quick to try to change behaviors, and I want to do this, I don't want to do that. Um, but a lot of insight can come just from paying attention and being aware of what we do and how it feels. And then through that insight, maybe we do go and change some of our behaviors, or it's also possible that we don't change our behavior because, one, maybe we have to keep doing it, or that it's more so our how we do it that matters, or how we approach it and how we react to it that matters. And maybe it's just more of a shift in the way that how we do it that needs to change. But just pay attention and see what comes up for you. The next writing exercise is like zooming out and dreaming big. So think about the things that you want more of in your life. And maybe these are more bigger picture things of you, things that you want to work towards in this year. Um, and it can be anything. Some of the examples that came up was like less judgment, more joy, um, more health, like better health, and maybe physical health, mental health, spiritual, um, more like better financial management. So whatever it is for you, just take a few minutes here. You can pause this and just write those out for yourself. And then when you go back, maybe see if one thing really stood out, like it came out a few times, or the top three things that you feel like this is the direction that um, I would like this year to move towards. You can circle those things out. And then maybe you can write a few exercises or a few actions that you may want to try out. So rather than a very rigid plan, what are some things that you could possibly engage in that would move you closer to those things that you've circled? And and then just sharing. So if you'd like to share what intentions and specific actions that has come up for you, you can post it here in this space, in the living intentional living room space. Or if anything surprised you from your reflections or any insights that's come up for you. And we're going to try to keep that conversation going here. Often we come up with these ideas in the beginning of the year, and then by the second month, we've completely given up on it. I think sometimes just we change, our life circumstances change, so our intentions and our specific actions and goals can also change. So just being mindful of that, we want to keep the conversation going here and check in with each other and with ourselves of um, does that intention still apply a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, or at the end of the year? So I think we'll try to have maybe a couple more calls throughout the year to reconnect and see how we're doing with our intentions.